What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of La Banca Podcast, Season 2 in English. I'm your host, Marquinho, aka Che Segovia, alongside a different co host from episode 1. Last week I had Fidel. This week I have Pato. What's going on, Pato?
Good. How's everybody feeling tonight? They found me outside Home Depot. They asked me if I could do this show, and I'm here.
Hey, man, you can always find good help at Home Depot, man. I mean, sometimes you find the best help at Home Depot. So shout out to those guys out there working hard, making sure that everything gets done right the way it's supposed to be done on
Hey,
the
in this
cheap.
weather, baby, in this weather, any help is good.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, guys, episode 2, season 2. Obviously, we got a lot to talk about, a lot of the catch up, recapping the Champions League games from last week, and obviously previewing the Champions League games that are going to come up this upcoming week. And then obviously a special topic because you see the kit that I'm wearing, the Barcelona kit. They play today on a Thursday of all days.
Good second half. Good second half. Was very impressed with the second half.
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking the Europa League here pretty at the end, but yeah,
Do
man,
we have to? I thought it wasn't a great tournament. I thought it wasn't an important tournament.
man. You know what, man? Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan too, so I've grown to love the Europa League. Yeah.
Oh my god.
so obviously, I wasn't really expecting to have Barcelona there and things like that, but I mean, we're happy to be involved. And hopefully we end up with a title. I mean, who knows? We can lift up the Europa League the 1 year that we're there. It's a rebuild. So here we are. Let's go.
He's looking iffy. He's looking iffy after today, but if Barcelona is a big team, so they can go in there and win it. So
Oh, for sure, for sure. I have no doubt that they can do that. But let's talk about the Champions League game from last week, man. Obviously, there was 4 games we talked about, we previewed and all that stuff. I'll go over the scores of a couple of them, and then we'll talk obviously about the big one that everybody has interest in. But Sporting Lisbon versus Man City, a 5-0 win by Manchester City. A thrashing. I mean, I think we all predicted that was going to be one of those games that wasn't going to be too much to look into. I mean, Man City's dominant. They have the players, and they showed why they're one of the favorites to win the Champions League game. Anything you want to add, Pato, before we move on?
man, dude, it's hard to play against that whaled oil machine right now, dude. Manchester City they look really good, really good. And it was so funny that I think that Sporting made the mistake of wanted to play them, you know, one by one. I mean, wanted to face them up, and that was a big mistake. By the moment they realized they were already down 3-0. So
Some people are sometimes, they're against playing their style against bigger clubs, but I commend them. And you know what?
yeah,
Even though they got their butts whooped, I mean, but they played their style, and that's the way they went down.
it's just a bad draw, dude. I mean, Manchester City to me right now is probably the favorite to win it all, dude. And it's just a bad draw. I mean,
It is
it,
what
just,
it is.
it
It
is
is
what
what
it
it is.
is.
So let's talk about Inter Milan Liverpool 2-0 win from Liverpool. Obviously I think this is like I mentioned last week. I think this is going to be a tournament they put a lot of focus in. They want to recapture that Champions League glory, and Manchester City's kind of running away with the Premier League title. So I mean, it is what it is. Inter Milan, I know Fidel had high praises for Inter Milan last week when we talked on the English show, but unfortunately for those guys, 2-0 loss at Anfield. So it's gonna be tough for Inter Milan to come back. What do you think? What do you think about the match?
No, I think I mean Liverpool, dude, is the second best team in the tournament. I mean, under Manchester City. So when you play the big dogs, man, it's really difficult. You cannot make mistakes. You got to play your best game. Inter has some chances, but not all. I mean, Becker wasn't even stopping anything that we can say. Hey, you know what? Inter was there. They could have scored or anything like that. Uh, Lautaro Martinez probably had a couple of chances, maybe one clear one in the first half. But no, dude, down 0-2 going to Anfield. I don't see this turning around. We talk about this last Thursday when we did the show. Is that Inter Milan has these issues with that whenever they play the big dogs, dude, it's hard for them. Something is missing there.
No, for sure. I mean, it's it's different levels. I mean, Inter Milan, obviously, we know they're a big club in the sense of football. I mean, they've won a Champions League, they've won multiple Serie A titles. They're one of the biggest clubs in Italy, one of the biggest clubs in Europe. But at this moment, being Liverpool big and being Inter Milan big is different.
Yeah.
So, you know, um, but like things like that, like I said, I mean, things happen and it is what it is. But we're not gonna keep going on that one. One of the surprises, I think one of the biggest surprises of that first night of round of 16, Red Bull Salzburg versus Bayern Munich, a 1-1 tie that could have very easily been a Salzburg win in Austria.
Correct. Correct.
What do you think about those guys? I mean, they held up, man. They held up until the end when Kingsley Coleman scored that equalizing goal at the end to tie it up. But I mean, a good showing by RB Salzburg. I think they had an opportunity to score more than one goal. I think they had a really good opportunity to go up 2-0. But I mean, obviously opportunities and taking advantage of those opportunities are two different things. So what are your thoughts about RB Salzburg and Bayern Munich?
Whenever we made the picks last Thursday, we said that this was kind of a closer series, and it's going to turn out to be. I think that Bayern will probably win the series, but it was going to be a close series. Today, I mean, when I watched the game yesterday, dude, Salzburg could have easily scored 2 or 3 goals. It just that's the problem when you play the big dogs, though, is that you got it when you have them against the ropes, you got to finish them, man, and that was probably one of the things. I mean, Salzburg, dude, they won the title a few years in a row in Austria. They made it to the next round, if I'm not mistaken, in the Champions League last champions, correct?
No, you're
And
thinking RB Lipstick.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're always right there, dude. They're always in the Champions League. They're always fighting. I mean, they have a cohesive unit, and they had a good showing. I was very impressed. I mean, I
Yeah,
was impressed with the outcome, but I was more impressed on how good they were against Bayern Munich.
yeah, for sure. I mean, unfortunately, the draw for them was Bayern Munich. Who knows? Maybe if they would have drawn somebody like Inter Milan, or maybe or maybe Sporting.
Yeah,
Obviously, I
or
think
maybe the teams that are playing next week, maybe it would have been a bit different. Uh,
yeah,
5 minutes, 5 minutes before Bayern scored the tying goal, they had a chance, a very clear chance to go up 2-0. So, but that's the way it happens. If you don't score, you're gonna get the back on your end. So,
yeah, for sure, for sure. And then obviously the main event that everybody's talking about that was leading up to, everybody was so excited for it. PSG versus Real Madrid in Paris, 1-0 win for Paris Saint Germain. A last minute goal by Kylian Mbappe against his next team, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That's another show. That's another show. But Pato, I was very disappointed, honestly. I'm a Barcelona fan. I don't like Madrid for nothing, but I do respect Carlos Ancelotti. I think he's one of the greatest coaches of all time in soccer. But I don't know if that was planned or what happened. But the way Madrid showed up in Paris, that's not Madrid. That's not the biggest club in the world, like our friend Little Man likes to call them. That's not how the biggest club in the world plays. What happened?
no, I was embarrassed. Watching the game, I was kind of embarrassed. I never understood why to begin with. I mean, I know Ancelotti knows 100 times more football than I do, right? But I
Yeah.
never understood why to begin with the way he was setting up the squad. I mean, yeah, he was starting with a 4-3-3, but we had three forwards and we never shot at the goal. So that tells you how wrong that schematic was. I mean, to me, I mean, even though I'm not the coach, but I mean, I'm a follower. I watch the teams, I watch the games. 4-4-2 would have been, I mean, probably the best bet for him in a sense. You put in Valverde and you take out Asensio. Probably, if your purpose of this game was defending, but nothing came around. He couldn't defend. He couldn't attack. He couldn't do nothing. All that he did was probably get 2 yellow cards and guys who are not going to play the next game. Granted, he's going to need more offense and not defense. But as a fan, dude, I was kind of embarrassed in a sense that Real Madrid has been a team through the years that will go to any stadium and play their style, which Madrid style always been looking at the other team's goal, that did not happen this game, dude. I mean,
So
this is just
and to add salt to an open wound, I mean, you lose Casemiro for the next game because of yellows. You lose Ferland Mendy for the next game because of yellows. If this was planned by Carlos Ancelotti, why would he sacrifice two of his most needed players at this game when he could have saved them and played them at the Bernabeu? Now you're going to play Marcelo at left back, which Marcelo, even though Marcelo was 35, 36, he can still play a good game. But I mean, but let's keep real. Marcelo going against the speed of Neymar or Mbappe, it's gonna hurt Madrid. It's gonna hurt him. Uh, Valverde, even though he has a lot of talent, he's still young. He's nowhere than I don't think he's at the level of Casemiro, but he can still do a thing. But that changes that trio because Valverde likes to be more offensive than defensive, and Casemiro is that anchor on the defense, that frontline defender before you get to your defense. So it's going to be a little bit hard for Madrid. But but with that being said, I mean PSG didn't take full advantage of the situation that they're in. Obviously the headline was Messi missing the penalty. But aside from that, there were so many different opportunities for PSG to score, to really tack on the goals and things like that. It just Courtois played the game of his life. He protected that goal.
Best player for Madrid that game.
He played that man of the match role for Madrid, because if it wasn't for him, who knows? I think that game would have ended up like 4-0 because there was no attacking. You have the number 1 and number 2 leading scorers in La Liga, and Benzema and Vinicius Jr., and those guys only crossed into PSG's half for I think maybe only 3 or 4 times. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing for? I mean, honestly, that to me is small club mentality, man. I mean,
correct.
This is Real Madrid.
Correct. That's what kind of got me. I mean, the only thing that I can probably say that was kind of positive out of all this mess was probably that we only down 1-0.
Yeah.
We probably have hopes of probably turning it around at Bernabeu and with our fans.
Yeah.
But if we play like this over there, dude, I guarantee you, if PSG comes out with their, hot, dude, it can be ugly.
Look, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I know Pochettino as a coach because obviously he was Tottenham, all that stuff. I know his style. I know his style is a little bit more defensive. But there's no way in hell that PSG comes to Madrid and plays defensive.
No.
There's no
Madrid
way.
is gonna have to take this game away from them.
Yeah.
Madrid. I mean, Ancelotti cannot play like this at Bernabeu. Otherwise, dude, he will probably.
Of course not.
Something will happen. Fans probably will leave at halftime. Well, they're gonna have to play a better game, right? But they're gonna have to take risks, try to get more chances. So something is gonna happen. Either they win and eliminate PSG, or PSG puts 3 or 4 on them.
Well, we'll see next week.
That's the only hope, though, that they're going back to Bernabeu and probably home field advantage can take a part of that. And from Tuesday, dude, the only thing that probably that I can see positive out of all this is maybe only down 1-0. That could have been 3 or 4.
Well, we'll see what happens with that.
PSG did. They at least they deserve 2-0 or 3-0. But
we'll see what happens with that, and then obviously we'll have a show in the future and talk about it. But let's talk about the games that are coming up. There's the other half of the round of 16. The first game in line, obviously, for Tuesday, February 22nd, is the defending champions and the guys who just won the Club World Cup here this past weekend. Chelsea, the Blue Devils versus Lille. Obviously, we know that Fidel, one of our co-hosts on the show, is a huge Chelsea fan.
One of our heroes on the show.
Yeah, one of our heroes of the show. He's a huge Chelsea fan. Obviously he's riding the wave right now. These trophies just coming in. But I mean, hey, granted, give them respect. They won it. They got the squad. They got the players. They got the talent to be doing this, right? So, but Lille, let's not falter them either. They're last year's League One champs, not PSG. They won the title last year in League One. You got players like Jonathan David, who we all know too well because obviously he's a Canadian CONCACAF region. I know you support Mexico. We all watch USA men national team games, and we've been watching this guy destroy both teams. Timothy Weah, who's a U.S. men's international as well, and other high level players that honestly are going to be playing in bigger clubs next season, to be honest. But my question to you, Pato, is this going to be a tight knit round, or is this going to be something for Chelsea just to brush over and look forward to going to the next round?
No. I see a very close series on these two games. You know what? The only good thing about these two games though is that you have at least what 2 3 weeks, 3 weeks,
Yeah,
3 weeks between games.
3 weeks.
Is when 3 weeks a lot can happen, and all these teams that look bad this week probably will look better in 2 3 weeks. Uh, but I see a very close series with these two. Obviously, I'd probably see Chelsea winning 2-0 the first game. It's a Stamford Bridge, but I mean, it's going to be very close, dude. Lille is a very good team. They play really well. Very athletic. Uh,
A
that's
lot
what
of
I'm
pace.
saying. Is that the first game, Chelsea's got to do whatever they got to do to win this game because they getting Lukaku back at this level, and they really Tuchel is going to make these guys play the way they were playing in the last champions because Chelsea is not playing really well right now. So they got to get together and probably make another run. But
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
that's the only thing. But I see a very close series between them.
yeah, I mean, they did just win the Club World Cup, but they didn't win it in convincing fashion. I mean, it was, penalties, things like that. They Palmeiras had them on the verge of, going to penalties to win, to go, to try to win that Club World Cup. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, I mean, they're playing at home, so they got the benefit of that, going to Stamford Bridge and maybe dominating that game and putting 2-3 goals up on Lille. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, it could be one of those games where they stumble as well, and maybe they end up tying, and then Lille has a real huge advantage 3 weeks from now playing at home in front of their crowd, with that big chip on their shoulder as far as like not getting the respect that they deserve because they were from the French league. But we'll see what happens, man. Your thoughts? What do you think? What prediction on the score?
2-0 at Stamford Bridge and probably 1-1 over there, or probably 2-1 over there, but 2-0, 2-1. That's probably what 4-3, 4 to.
Yeah.
But this is the thing we well know though because of the league that the Premier has. We always gonna take kind of the Premier League team as a favorite against anybody else. So because of the level of the level of the league and how good all the teams are pretty much that you will get everybody's best shot every Sunday. That's what we kind of go that way in a sense. But I mean Chelsea should be superior to Lille if you ask me. But Lille is one of those teams that is athletic, big, I mean fast. Dude, yeah, that's what I see it kind of close.
I got you. Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 Chelsea. I think Lily scores a goal up there, but yeah, I think 2-1. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I guess I'll have to see what they look like in 3 weeks from now when we do a show and we preview that matchup. But yeah, I think 2-1 Chelsea win.
Yeah, to me, don't get me wrong. The French league is really good. The only problem though is that any good team that's out there, they sell all the players. Everybody gets their players, yeah, and it keeps them weakening the league. But the league is not bad. To me, the league is not bad.
For sure, for sure. The next match on that day, on that Tuesday, February 22nd, another one of Fidel's favorite clubs. This time in La Liga. Unai Emery's Villarreal, last year's Europa League champions, versus Juventus. Not the same Juventus that we're used to seeing, but I mean Juventus nonetheless. Big name, big players. Pato, do you think Juventus right now at the level that they're playing in, because they're fighting for that fourth spot in the Serie A to qualify for Champions League for next season, so their focus might be elsewhere. But do you think with players like Paulo Dybala, Weston McKennie, the new guy Vahalik, a new striker? Yeah, do you think Juventus has the firepower to go and beat Villarreal? Villarreal's a tough out.
I don't know about the firepower. I know they got the experience because the issue here is scoring goals for both of them. And I see probably Juventus scoring one more goal than Villarreal. Villarreal has a tough time scoring, dude. It is what it is. I love to watch Villarreal because all their games are really fun, dude. They're the active games. I mean, they're something is always seems to happen when they play. But I mean, I like to watch their games, but I don't see them advancing. I see probably Juventus tying the first game and probably finishing over there in Turin. But you know what? Villarreal made it this far, man. I mean, they're gonna get some money from this game, right? I mean, that I don't. The problem with Villarreal is scoring, dude. If
Yeah.
Villarreal is able to score and take a good advantage out of La Ceramica, their stadium, take it all the way to Italy, maybe they can do something. But I don't see that happening. I see Juventus advancing.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because for some reason I have there's going to be an upset somewhere, right?
Mhm.
I mean, we're all obviously we all think that the big clubs are always going to advance and stuff like that, but lo and behold, every year there's always an upset or two, that of a club that keeps going. And for some reason, I feel like Villarreal is going to be that club this season. I mean, I don't know if they'll get past the quarterfinals, and go into the semis, but I think that they can get past Juventus in the round of 16. And obviously, obviously the biggest thing is the scoring. After Gerardo Moreno, who does Villarreal have? They don't
Yeah,
really have anybody else of prowess. I mean, you got Paco Alcacer, but I mean, he's not the same Paco
yeah,
Alcacer
yeah.
that
His
but
his play went down dramatically.
yeah, he's not the same from Borussia Dortmund or during his time in Barcelona. So I mean, you they brought in a few players, like Giovanni Lo Celos from Tottenham, that can provide passes for those guys and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, it's tough. It's tough for these guys. They are stacked defensively. I mean, with Juan Floyd and Pau Torres and those guys back there manning the line, they are good defensively. So I think that helps them out a lot. But will it be enough against Juventus? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. I think they're gonna win 2-1. Villarreal. This is the first match. The first match in Spain or is the first match in
No,
Italy?
it's La Ceramica in Spain.
Okay, so yeah, I think they win two.
I'm basing my prediction on that too. That all the experience that Juventus has in the defense, midfield, and the coach. Uh,
I mean,
so
look,
Allegri's seen it all, man.
look. Unai Emery knows how to play in tournaments. Obviously, he's the king of Europa League, but he's stepping it up. So I think Villarreal's gonna win 2-1, and we'll see what happens in Turin. I think, like I said, what they do have is they have a good defense with Danny Parejo and players like that and Moy Gomez, and they have a good solid defense. With like Pau Torres and Juan Foy. So we'll see what happens. Honestly,
Well,
but I think.
one thing I know though is that I'll watch 180 minutes of this series because Villarreal always gives you good showing. It's
And I won't
always
be surprised. And I won't be surprised
they play hard. They play hard.
yeah.
They
And
play
I won't be
hard.
surprised. I won't be surprised if this is if this is
The
the
upset.
match group that goes into penalties.
Mhm.
But let's move on to Wednesday. Benfica, winners of the Portuguese league last season versus Ajax, which are always winners of the Eredivisie. Um, Benfica Ajax. Do you think Benfica has a chance to against Ajax? I mean, Benfica obviously we know their powerhouses in Portugal. Obviously, we know what Ajax brings, but the domination that Ajax showed in the group stages. Man, I don't know. I feel like they can have one of those magical runs like they had a couple years ago when they had Frankie De Jong and Delight and those guys back then. I mean, they have a goal scorer in Sebastian Haller. They have good young players, wingers. Anthony, obviously. I can't remember the other Brazilian kid's name off the top of my head right now, but they have great players. Do you think Benfica gives them a chance, gives them a run for their money and can make it difficult for Ajax?
I think Benfica can do good at their house, but once they go back to Holland, Netherlands, they'll probably lose over there. Man, it's so beautiful to see Ajax because anytime they go into this tournament, you doubt them. You always go like, "Oh, dude, they just lost 10 players. They just lost 6 players. How in the hell are they gonna make it?" But dude, every one player that leaves, there is two behind him that are probably a little better than them. So dude, I'm so impressed with the way they always do their scouting. They always do their probably their younger
The recruiting.
operations. I mean, yeah,
You
dude,
know,
it's
Ajax
so
represents
impressive.
to me. Ajax
Probably the best.
represents that what we as fans kind of wish soccer was without the whole money involvement and stuff like that. Because obviously the rich teams
Correct,
are going
correct.
to go.
Because
You know,
Mark, I mean, you're a Barcelona guy, I'm a Madrid guy, and we say La Castilla and La Masia, but those are jokes, dude. It's hard for one of those players to even make it to the team because they always want to keep on winning, winning, and all they do is buy players. They
yeah,
probably have a guy who plays like Hazard, right? In their minor leagues, but they'd rather play 100 million so he can sell their jerseys. So, dude, but Ajax is something so different, dude. That they go to Brazil, they go to Bolivia, they go to Colombia, they go to anywhere, and they always find that good young player, dude, that's hungry, so they can polish him and then sell it to the big clubs. Dude, they're a mastermind. I
they're
love
they're
that.
they're, they're football purity. So what's your prediction on the game?
No, I see Ajax. They probably lose the game at Benfica because Benfica is really good at home. But I see
Okay.
them going back to Amsterdam and probably winning by a bigger margin. So I see Ajax
Okay.
going through.
Yeah, I mean, look, Benfica, they have a great striker and Darwin Nunez, the Uruguayan, who was the heir apparent to Cavani and Luis Suarez. So I think Benfica has an opportunity to win this game, obviously at home. But I think Ajax is gonna pull it out, man. I think it's gonna be a 3-2 Ajax win. And then obviously I think Ajax dominates at home over there at the Cruyff Stadium. So yeah, but let's get to the main event for this
Oh my God!
for this
Please,
round.
do we have to talk
Um,
about these two losers?
you know, two big clubs, but unfortunately for both of them, going through a dysfunctional time right now. And obviously, we're talking about Atletico Madrid versus Manchester United. Obviously, Atletico Madrid, they're no strangers to this level. Like I mentioned in the last couple of years, they've made it to Champions League finals. They've lifted Europa League cups. They've lifted the La Liga title. They're the current La Liga title holders. Manchester United, obviously, during the Sir Alex Ferguson era, one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest. Some might argue, but obviously, since Fergie left, it's been a downward spiral, man. And right now, it's turmoil. You have players like Cristiano Ronaldo already planning their future to leave. Obviously, Cavani, who's looking forward to moving on to his next adventure. Paul Pogba, already looking forward to his next adventure. You have so many star players already looking forward to next season and looking beyond this season. Is how can any coach, nonetheless the one they have right now, get these players to focus and to be focused enough to have a combined objective to go out there and win and possibly upset and be a dark horse in this Champions League, because they do have the talent. They have the talent. They just don't know how to put it together. What's your thoughts, Apato,
I
on
think
Manchester United?
out of the two, even though they've been on, playing really bad lately. I mean, you cannot fire United coach because you just got him, right? Uh, I think United has been playing horrible. They defend horribly. I mean, they lost some games where uh, 20 minutes and they're already losing 3-0. That's what not having a number 5 in the middle of the field that covers a lot of ground means. That's what they've been struggling so much. They need to get one of those. Maybe they will get it together. But no, to me, the biggest advantage here is Atletico de Madrid, because if you watch that game on Wednesday, oh my God, dude, fans were all over these guys. They play horribly. I mean, I watch some of the players. I'm gonna go ahead and probably pick on one of them, Llorente. Dude, that guy, as far as I know, he was a better player than this. I watched him Wednesday. Oh my God, he looked average. So a lot of guys are not playing to their potential. So if you ask me, that's probably where the advantage is, that uh, Simeone is gonna go to the locker room and say, "Guys, we hit rock bottom. It's up to you to fix this. So I want you to give me your best showing against Man United on. They play Wednesday, I believe, right? Next Wednesday.
Yeah,
So
they play next Wednesday.
good. And I think they're gonna come out and probably play their best game.
Look, man. That's the thing about Simeone. Every time people count him out,
Yeah,
he comes out of nowhere. And I mean, the first match is at Madrid at Wanda Metropolitano. So I mean, they have that advantage of being at their home stadium. But man, it's just depressing to me, honestly. Look, I go on record on this show and the Spanish show that I have all the respect for what Diego Simeone has done for Atletico Madrid. The man deserves a statue outside the stadium when he leaves. He deserves a round of applause whenever they decide to get rid of him or whenever he decides to leave. But we're talking about the now, man. And Atletico Madrid, for all the players, for all the gifted players, gifted offensive players that they have, Joao Felix, Angel Correa, Yannick Carrasco. You have Luis Suarez, even though he's older, but he's still one of the best number nines in the world, right? You have all those type of players, and yet you're not using them properly. You're not scoring goals against a team in Levante who's fighting in the bottom half of the table in La Liga. You're
dude,
the
he's
defend,
last place,
you're the
last place in La Liga,
you're the defending La
last
Liga
place by a
champions.
mile.
Yeah, you're the defending champions, man. Where's the pride in this? It could be one of those things where maybe Simeone's voice is not as potent as it used to be. Before it was one of those things where you had pride because Atletico Madrid was always that stepbrother. It's always Barcelona, Real Madrid, and then Atletico was always over here. Along with like Sevilla. When you would see Atletico Madrid come out and win La Liga title, make it to Champions League finals, win Europa League finals. It as a soccer fan, just a soccer fan, not having any connections to Barcelona, and you not having connections to Real Madrid, obviously, right?
Mhm.
It's great to see clubs like that be able to achieve greatness, to reach the mountaintop, right?
Correct,
So
correct.
you have to give respect to Simeone for taking Atletico Madrid to those new heights because now, because of him, Atletico Madrid is considered a big club. You know, but with that being said, moving forward now, I think it's time to cut ties with Diego Simeone. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, but man, it's hard because Manchester United, for as much talent as they have as well, they have Cristiano Ronaldo, who is a Atletico Madrid's daddy, unfortunately. When Cristiano goes into that Atletico stadium, whether it's the Wanda or whether it was the
Where
Vicente
they played
Calderon
him in her
before,
house, in his house.
it doesn't matter. Cristiano Ronaldo
Yeah,
loves torturing that side of Madrid.
yeah.
He loves it. So, well, I don't know. Ronaldo hasn't scored in the last 7-8 games, I believe. But
You know what's
perfect
kind of
time.
funny? You know what's kind of funny? I was watching both games because of I was watching PSG and I was watching Menu. I turned it because I was watching Manchester City, but Manchester City was destroying
Yeah, Sporting.
Sporting, so I went ahead and changed it to Manchester United. And dude, your Ronaldo scored right at the same time that Messi missed the penalty. Same time,
It's funny how the world works, right? But yeah, man. So with
same
that being
time on
said,
the two TV. I see
I thought
Atletico going
that.
forward on this two games, and I think they're gonna play the best game, the first game. And the problem, I don't see Simeone as a problem. I see more the players as the problem because it's the same system, same coach, same players. So this is kind of a wake up call for the players, dude. A lot of these players sometimes
I hope.
they need to be
I
pampered.
hope
They want to
so.
be pampered. Hmm.
I hope so. I
Oh,
like some
you will love
young.
United losing, right? You will love United
Oh,
losing.
for sure. I mean, look, I'm not the biggest Atletico supporter either. I mean, obviously, I'm a Barcelona fan, so I mean, Atletico is step brother, whatever, doesn't matter. But obviously, as an Arsenal fan, when Manchester United sucks, I love it. So obviously, if and this I'm pulling for Atletico Madrid, but I'm gonna trust Simeone in tournaments. So I'm gonna go with Atletico Madrid advancing over Manchester United, and I think in this first game, I think Atletico wins 2-0. We'll see, man. But look, the biggest but is that if Cristiano Ronaldo wakes up and does what Cristiano does, it could easily be a 2-2 tie or even a 2-1 win by Manchester United because of Cristiano Ronaldo's double. So we'll see. Yeah, man. So obviously, we talk the first episode we talked Champions League. This episode we talking Champions League, but there's another tournament going on, and the reason why
What?
we're bringing up this,
What?
and the reason why we're bringing up this tournament is not. I mean, look, it's a prestigious tournament, regardless. Nonetheless, a lot of big teams have won this trophy,
The
and winning this trophy.
Federations, Europe Federations, right? What is it
Yeah,
called?
the Europa League, the Europa
Damn.
League. And whoever wins this tournament obviously gets you automatically qualified for the Champions League, as last year with Villarreal, and the year prior with Chelsea, and who ended up going win the Champions League.
And
So,
won the
but
Champions League. How funny that was.
yeah, so the biggest match for this round of 32 for Europa League, not round of 16, round of 32, Napoli versus FC Barcelona, which is the kit that I'm wearing, obviously. Now, beforehand,
I'm glad the kid you're wearing has a logo.
Oh yeah, man. You know what?
With a tape.
After we get done here, I'm gonna go look up to see what happened, man, because that's weird to me.
Hey,
that
on a professional level and on the highest level, dude, Hey, I guarantee you they're gonna get fined.
They probably are gonna get fined, but regardless, with that being said, Napoli, Barcelona, before the Champions League teams got added to the Europa League round 32, I honestly, without a doubt, hands down, had Napoli as the favorite to win the Europa League. The way they dominate their group, the way they've been doing, the way they've been playing it in Serie A. Right now they're in a three-way battle with Inter and Milan for first place, and they just, I think they believe they just tied against Milan this past weekend at the San Siro. Napoli has been playing awesome, been playing great defensively, the best defensive team in Italy, and I believe in all of Europe. So with that being said, unfortunately for Barcelona, they picked up the hardest get. They got the worst matchup possible. Aguántate, Pato.
Yeah, no. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening because Europa League is my thing, Yeah. Champions, second place.
Yeah.
So Europa League is my thing.
So with that being said, they played today.
Lazio against Porto, right? We're speaking.
Yeah. But with that being said, they played today, 1-1 tie, Barcelona versus Napoli. Your thoughts on the match?
Good game. I like the second half of Barcelona. I mean, I'm not a Barcelona fan, but you got to watch all the games, so you can have a kind of an opinion on how the other teams do. Great second half. Ferran Torres could have finished this game really early, dude. He missed like 3 goals. I didn't like how they whistled Dembele. I mean, but the guy's tough. He came in and did his thing, Yeah. Probably Xavi could have done a little here and there way before that. But I mean, the second half Barcelona is what you want to see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I'll tell you my opinion in the game, and then we'll close out the show with that, right? So obviously, you brought up Ferran Torres, who I think it was a great signing for Barcelona. Obviously, with the depth that they're in, to be able to get a player of his quality, his youth, it's a great thing for the future of Barcelona, right? But we're talking about today. We're talking about today, what happened today at this game, not what he's going to bring in the future, whatever, and this and that. But today, he let Barcelona down. Today, he did not play at the level of a $55 million euro player. He didn't. And unfortunately for him, because he had all the open shots, he's the headline. Yeah, he scored the penalty, which is great. Obviously, it's good to score the penalty. Obviously, so he salvaged the point. He salvaged the tie for Barcelona, but he had, to my count, 3 opportunities that were wide open, and two of them, honestly, that should have been made. You're a world-class player. You should have made those 2.
Correct. I totally agree with you.
and,
For him,
and, and
for him to be not only a Barcelona. Remember, he plays for the national team. He
yeah.
plays for
So
Spain.
so
So
unfortunately for him, he had a bad day, but my disbelief, my not, I don't want to say anger, but my frustration is with Xavi, unfortunately, because Xavi, he should have taken him out during the first subs. He shouldn't have taken off
I agree
Adama.
with you. I
He
agree
should
with you.
he should have put in Dembele and for Ferran, and it would have opened up more for Adame, who unfortunately for him, he didn't have a great game, but that's because he always had three defenders around
Correct.
him, trying to take the ball away from him because he was up there creating. And even on top of that, he was able to still manage a couple crosses into the box. So imagine if you would have had Dembele and Adame feeding Aubameyang.
Yeah.
You could have had something there. I mean, who would have known? Who knows?
Yeah. I
Maybe.
think Xavi, I mean, he will have to try to find the right combinations, dude, because some things are not working. With the
Look.
chances that Barcelona creates, they should score more. So
Look, and if this was a league game, I'd be like, okay, yeah, look, he had a bad day. We have 15 more games left, right? It's okay, but this isn't a league game. This is a tournament game that requires you to score goals and requires you to have an advantage, especially when you're at home for the first leg of it. And unfortunately, we got neither of that. We don't have an advantage going to Italy. We're tied 1-1, and Napoli is the best defensive team in Europe.
correct.
So unless Barcelona can figure out what they're doing and Xavi can get the pieces together right, and they go dominate over there, I see it being real tough for Barcelona to move on to the next round, which is a shame because I think if it wasn't for them going against Napoli, I think they would have advanced, against any other club. But unfortunately for them, they got the hardest matchup, and I don't know. I don't know. As a Barcelona supporter who has a lot of faith in what Barcelona is trying to do and for the future, at this current moment, I don't know if Barcelona has what it takes to go into Italy and win the game to move them on to the
Barcelona
process.
is Barcelona. That's your team, and you have to ask the best of Barcelona. And
Obviously, all the time.
you gotta believe that Barcelona is gonna go in there to Italy and beat him. The Barcelona of the second half did well, but they still didn't score. The Barcelona of Atletico de Madrid is a team that you need to see to get to be in the to beat Napoli and to be in the first four places of La Liga. The
Yeah.
Barcelona of Espanyol and this Barcelona who doesn't score, who creates but still doesn't score, this Barcelona won't finish in the first four.
Well, we'll see next week though. They'll play their second match in El Estadio Diego Armando Maradona in Naples, Italy. So we'll see. I'll know for
No.
sure.
And not only that though, but remember before that there is Mestalla. They got to go to Mestalla and play Valencia. It's not a
Yeah.
good. It's not an
Yeah,
easy game.
so we'll see what happens. I know we'll for sure talk about that next week and next week's show. But guys, we're at the end of the English show. We appreciate those who joined us. I know it's a little bit late. I know it's all at the end. But obviously you get to watch it on replay whenever it comes
I
up
get
on
so
YouTube.
excited talking about Europa League. It's so much fun.
Yeah, man. We're willing to talk about any tournament, not just Europa League, Champions League.
Mark, next they play Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday?
Thursday.
Oh, next Thursday.
Yeah.
So I hope, dude. I hope it's a good result. I hope because everybody's gonna come down on Barcelona if they get eliminated.
Yeah, for sure.
It
So,
is what it is.
but before we go, Pato, do you have anything you want to say?
I want to thank everyone who watched today. Our biggest fan. What happened to Luis Padilla? He's not with us anymore. Our another big fan of Fidel Andrade was with us. But I want to
Yeah,
thank
for sure.
everyone to watch, and it's always so much fun. I think fun is back on Thursdays, right? It's like
always
Thursday
back.
night football.
It's
Yeah.
always we're here as long as work doesn't get in the way. We're here. But yeah, guys, thank you for joining us. Obviously, follow us on Twitter at La Banca _podcast. Give us a share. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Last week's end this. Please share it with your football friends as well. We're always here, and like I said, we're not only here to talk about Champions League and Europa League. We're willing to talk about whatever kind of soccer you want to talk about. Just leave it in the comments, and we'll get there. But for those of you who are faithful La Banca podcast fans, we appreciate the love and support, and we'll see you next week, guys. So
I'm gonna go to
have a good
church
one.
and pray that after next Thursday we still speak in Europa League.
For sure, for sure.